enter our engineering or medical schools, they're the individuals who like to invent new technologies or new scientific breakthroughs. These individuals are passionate about the technology or the product they're building and about finding solutions to big problems that they're trying to solve. The third type of entrepreneur is that one we see among many of the small business owners that attend my executive programs. These are individuals that want to run their own business because they like being their own boss. They don't want to grow quickly, and they don't want to sell their business. They want to continue running it, and they don't want to give up the control that they have in being able to build that business the way they would like to build it. They're often very passionate about their employees, their customers, and giving back to their communities. So those are an example of three different role models. I think one of the problems we've found is that most people see entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial careers as being a single model, and they don't think that there's different ways to express that entrepreneurial passion.
Great. Thank you so much. Dominique, your work centers on the paradigm shift in management. Our discussion here today has illustrated the fact that the relationship between employers and employees has shifted and will continue to shift dramatically in the coming years. Can you tell us what we might expect and what the cultural implications of such a shift will likely be?
Well, Rita, you're very good at asking very big questions, my God. I did my PhD in the 80s on corporate sociology, and I really have the feeling I do it again today because everything is new, everything is challenging in the world of management and collaboration. I think we have first to recognize that several things happen at the same time as this technological progress around the virtual world is unfolding. Just examples. One, talent scarcity hits a lot of skills across the whole world. Two, collaboration and cooperation becomes easier everywhere. Three, many jobs can be performed partially or totally within a virtual context today. Four, the access to the Internet will increasingly happen via a sophisticated mobile phone rather than a computer. Now, if you add these examples and think that there are many others, actually, it's not surprising to think that the management of people, that's to say the relationship between employers and employees, will face a paradigm shift. What we might expect, because that's your question, in short, are things like much more relations between the silos of any organization, because individuals want to connect to others, they want to connect to knowledge, they want to connect to many networks without necessarily respecting silos or hierarchy. So they're going to create a horizontal structure within corporation. A second thing we're going to see is a complex and fascinating series of what I call work hubs, where you will find a real office, like today, coexisting with a flurry of home offices, but also of physical, what I call Starbucks 2.0, physical places where people will meet outside of their home and outside of the office. But also, you will have a lot of Second Life virtual offices where people will be able to meet. The interesting stuff here is that this coexistence will challenge the nature of interaction between individuals who will have to invent, in a way, their way within this new architecture of workspace and of time, as Philip mentioned earlier. This will also have very serious and probably very profound implications on the relationship between work and the physical location of the worker, leading probably to a different breed of migrant people and probably to the emergence of new offshoreable tasks. So these are some of the cultural implications on how to relate management of people and management of corporations of the future, and it's extremely challenging and frankly fascinating.
It's a very interesting point you make about individuals becoming architects of their own workspaces and designing it themselves, because one thing that fascinates me about the metaverse is that you're really limited in your creativity. So much of culture is based on hierarchical status symbols that we don't even realize. The framework into which we're born dictates very often the perceptions people have of us. But in a virtual space, we communicate a sense of how we see ourselves. And in many ways, it's a far more authentic method of communication. And I think that can only help business. And thank you so much, Dominique. That was a very, very fascinating comment. We're going to take a question here. Tammy, I'd like you to take this question. It's from Buyers Sellers, is currently hosting a live stream of this event to the Metanomics site, and as well with SLCN. We greatly appreciate that. And he has a question for us. These are difficult times for businesses to justify new projects, and many are cutting back spending on their more speculative ventures. But taking full advantage of virtual worlds will require a substantial investment in technology, staff, and research. Do you see Manpower upping the ante to take this project to the next level?
Well, it is certainly an investment, and we didn't enter Second Life lightheartedly. We approached it as any other investment and weighing against, what we could do with those dollars. So we will continue to research, treat Second Life as an R&D lab and research the implications of the world of work, not because it's something that we could do with our dollars. It's because it's core to our initiative, which is helping clients understand what's coming next in the world of work. And whether it be Second Life or any other virtual world, we're going to continue to explore it from two angles. One, from a technology perspective, to understand what skills we need to prepare the workforce to have, and secondly, from a work perspective, in helping clients understand the implications of virtual worlds and technology to see what kind of innovation can become from work practices and from new innovation that we haven't yet seen. So will we up our ante? We're going to continue to explore virtual worlds and continue to make sure that we have the staff that is in place with the knowledge to explore the virtual worlds with us, but also to carry on our brand promise and commitment.
We're looking forward to seeing how it develops over time. Jonathan Orr, the Orr Institute has been a source of inestimable value to Dancing Inc. Productions as we've looked at complex issues related to multiculturalism and new ways of encouraging creative collaborations across cultural borders. What are some of the insights you've gained from observing the value of virtual platforms for the development of meaningful multicultural group dynamics?
Wow, where to start? I could probably go on all day, but I know we're on a time crunch. I think to begin with, just to share some of my experiences, multiculturalism and conversations around diversity are often very passionately charged and difficult to initiate. And once initiated, even more difficult to maintain. And one thing that I found very revolutionary about working in the metaverse is that outside of saying, hello, I like your outfit, one of the first comments I get from avatars, or questions rather, is where are you from? And so there is deep curiosity within the metaverse about the real universe as well, where people are exchanging ideas and exchanging different resources. And one of the greatest supports for diversity and multiculturalism is curiosity, the ability to wonder about somebody else and to kind of lessen our defenses, to approach someone who may appear different than us or be from a different socioeconomic status, a different racial identity group, a different gender identity group even. And oftentimes when we get into multicultural conversations, another thing that hems us in is pre-existing social paradigms that are resident to particular cultures. And so we quickly move into conversations that revolve around power, privilege, and oppression. And that often leads to the dissolution of those